After so many videos praising Yuta and hating on Sukuna, I have decided to finally show the king some love. And it really pains me to admit it, but I think Sukuna is about to cook. Our main character duo plus Yuta's totally not underage girlfriend have been wailing on Sukuna for 2 whole chapters now. Sukuna's output is f***ed. His domain expansion is f***ed. His extra arms and mouth are busy making domain baskets, and don't forget his soul is being beaten down by Itadori. If he drops his guard for even a second, Jacob's ladder will tear him apart, and to make matters even worse, Yuta just smacked him with cleave. His own technique. Even though this is Sukuna we're talking about, he seems pretty screwed. Well, be warned, this video may shred any hope you had after reading these chapters. Side effects may include ice cream overdose, depressed TikTok scroll locks, and sudden urge to throw your shoe at the dog. So far, everything Gege has written since Gojo's fight suggests that Sukuna is about to land a black flash. Think about it. The story is far from over, and I have no hope of Yuta and Yuji killing Sukuna right here and now. Because honestly, I think that would be pretty shit. But the only way Sukuna can re-establish dominance over this fight is by recovering his output. Fortunately, that happens to be a way of quickly restoring your output and regaining full mastery of your cursed energy. And it's called a Black Flash. This would solve all of Sukuna's problems right here and now, and he's in the perfect conditions to achieve it. Sukuna is fighting for his life. He is not holding back simply because he couldn't go all out even if he wanted to. He is just that beaten down from Gojo's fight. So if finally being pushed into a corner isn't the right time to reveal Sukuna's Black Flash, then I don't know what is. It perfectly mirrors his fight with Gojo, but with the roles reversed. Sukuna is now trapped in Yuta's domain and being pounded by Cleave, just as Gojo was. Sukuna seems to be at a disadvantage, but, just like Gojo, he will land a Black Flash to regain control of the fight. It will then probably appear as if Sukuna's gonna win the fight before our protagonists reveal their final trump card, and end Sukuna for good, just like Sukuna did to Gojo. I actually have 3 ideas of what these trump cards could be. 1. Maki Zenin and her soul-splitting katana, cause where the f*** she been while her boyfriend has been standing on business. 2. Yuji reveals a domain or the full extent of his soul-related technique. And 3, Sukuna gets hit with a hollow purple. And no, not one chucked by Gojo, but none other than our 2 main characters. Yuta can copy Limitless, but he cannot properly use it because he does not have the 6 eyes. However, Gege has said that there are other users of the Limitless technique who can do it to some degree, but nowhere near as effectively as Gojo can. He is also distantly related to Gojo, which may help him grasp it, and he definitely has enough cursed energy for at least 1 attack. Yuji, on the other hand, may be able to soul swap and collect techniques, just as his mother, Kenjaku, could. It's also possible that when swapping with Gojo, he could access any information available from the 6 eyes. He may not literally have them to help him, but he could at least deepen his understanding of how the Limitless technique works. If Yuta can pull off 1 red, and Yuji can pull off 1 blue, then Sukuna should, and will, shit his pants. But to be completely honest, this is one of my more stretchier stretches. I've also realised that this has nothing to do with Sukuna's Black Flash, so I'll stop rambling now and get back to the main point of this video. It's just that Yuta glazing comes so naturally to me, like I just sometimes can't stop myself. In my previous video on Sukuna's Black Flash, I theorised that he has never used one. Mainly because he has never been challenged enough to have the level of concentration needed to pull one off. But for this video's theory, whether he has or hasn't used one is largely irrelevant. All that matters is that he can, and he probably will. I really do think Sukuna's only hope here is ramping up his output and restoring Malevolent Shrine with a Black Flash. I also think this will get used on Yuta, which will inevitably lead to the collapse of his domain. It's also possible that this kills Yuta, but to be honest, I really don't see Yuta dying. I think it's much more likely that Yuji will die at the end of the story. It's also very possible that Sukuna kills Rika with the Black Flash and then breaks Yuta's domain with Malevolent Shrine. The only issue I see with this theory is how the f*** the protagonists win. Like, Sukuna in the Black Flash zone, just going crazy with cursed energy and Malevolent Shrine, is like, it's impossible. How do you beat that? Both Yuta and Yuji already said that they are f***ed if Sukuna recovers, so how the f*** are they gonna beat that without Gojo? My only decent ideas are Maki and Yuji, but let's be honest, there's no way Maki Zenin is just gonna swoop down and then end Jujutsu Kaisen, because that would be shit. What's more likely is Yuji enters a Black Flash battle with Sukuna and then reveals some next level plot technique shit. For example, what if Yuji's soul swapping ability is actually curse technique reversal? I mean, think about it. If Yuji can strike your soul and chip away at it, then surely the reverse would be forcing your own soul in. And that also lines up with the fact that we saw Yuji potentially soul swap with Kusakabe at the same time he was learning reverse curse technique, which you need to have an understanding of reverse curse technique in order to use curse technique reversal. So in theory, Yuji could swap with Megami and then regain control of Sukuna as his vessel. That's genuinely the only way I see Black Flash boosted Sukuna being beaten without Gojo's help. Before Sukuna's defeat though, he's likely to feel the high of Black Flash and then finally reveal his technique. Now it's very possible that his technique is just Dismantle and Cleave, but it's also possible that Dismantle and Cleave are in some ways applications of his true technique, Fuga. In Gojo's fight with Sukuna, Sukuna explains that the prefrontal cortex is responsible for curse techniques, and then Kusakabe GPT explains that it's like a black box system. This means that you have an input, being cursed energy, that goes through an unknown process in the prefrontal cortex, the black box system, to produce an output, the cursed technique. It's my belief that Sukuna can open the black box and learn the unknown processes involved in cursed technique creation. Something that supports this idea even further is his Fuga chant. It's my understanding that Fuga in Japanese can translate to refinement, which is very fitting. For example, Sukuna opened the black box, observed the processes involved in Jogo's fire, and then refined it. Another thing to think about is the lightning tool Kamatoke. A curse tool is made by imbuing a curse technique into an object. So how the fuck did Yorozu imbue a lightning technique into a curse tool when her technique is creation? The obvious answer is that she didn't. She just made the tool. I can imagine Sukuna has a refined lightning technique which he can only use via a curse tool due to his body not being built to handle lightning like Kashimo's naturally could. Not enough evidence yet? Well, here's some more. Gojo was very impressed by Sukuna's mastery of the 10 Shadows technique, especially when he used the water of Max Elephant without summoning the elephant itself. It's because Sukuna can understand any technique processes and then refine it. In fact, the 6 Eyes are probably the only reason that he can't use Limitless and understand all of Limitless. Or maybe it would only work with simple techniques like fire or lightning. That would definitely explain why he would need to actually inherit Megami's body in order to use 10 Shadows. The only problem I have with this being Sukuna's technique is that it is very similar to Yuta. It is effectively the copying and then improvement of a technique. The point is that this would mean they are both effectively copy techniques, and that means that Sukuna's technique is pretty much redundant in this fight, because what is he going to do? Is he going to open his black box and then copy Yuta's copy technique? Do you see what I'm getting at? It just doesn't make sense. It's maybe possible that he's going to try and understand Yuji's soul striking ability, although I also don't really see what he would really gain from that, because he can just cut people in half anyway with Cleave, and I don't really see any point approaching us where anyone's particularly taken back by what Sukuna's technique really is, or how it will be helpful to him in any way. I think revealing his technique and using it against Gojo in the Gojo fight would have been a much better idea, since it was definitely much more needed then than it is here. Higuruma is probably dead, Gojo is probably dead, Takaba is probably dead, Kusakabe can fight people with a sword, Ino's got the 7-3 technique and his weird beast manipulation, whatever that shit is, Chozo's probably dead and buried, and I don't know, like, who else is there who we can copy from at the moment? So the only idea I really have is that he's not going to copy anybody's technique here, rather just open the black box and then pull on other techniques that he's copied in the past. It's very possible that Dismantle and Cleave is just a favourite of his which he uses constantly, and then he has to do the chant anytime he wants to change to a different technique, which may also explain why Sukuna used to carry 2 cursed tools. This would effectively mean he can use Dismantle and Cleave at the same time as 2 other of his refined abilities without having to constantly swap around. I can't lie, this video is literally me dumping all my current thoughts on Sukuna's next move. Although I really enjoy talking about it, and I think the idea of him doing something like using a Black Flash would be really f***ing cool. Although it does mean that probably one of Yuta or Rika is going to die, and then Rika dying probably also means that Yuta's going to get a nerf, unless all the power goes into him. For another day, I'm not thinking about that right now, I can't be bothered, it's going to kill me. The general point is that the only way out of Sukuna's current predicament is through a Black Flash, which means full power Heian era Sukuna and his Malevolent Shrine is coming very, very soon. He is then likely to reveal his technique and appear to have an advantage before Yuji reveals his final trump card and ending Sukuna. But Sukuna's defeat won't necessarily mark the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, because best believe Tengen is coming and it's gonna be awesome. Thank you guys so much for all the support at the moment. We're nearly at 1,000 subs, which is just crazy. Don't forget to like and subscribe or I'm gonna throw my shoe at your grandma. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.